Once upon a time, a young man's father died. Alladin, as that was the young man's name, took his father's place in running the family store with his mother. One day, a stranger walked into the store. "I am your uncle," said the stranger to Alladin. "I've come to see you." "My father never spoke of a brother," said Alladin. Aladdin's mother turned around. "My husband had no brother," said she to the stranger, narrowing her eyes. "I assure you it is true," said the stranger. "Years ago, your husband and I agreed that if something should happen to him, since I have been very said the magician to Alladin. "You must go down the steps. At the bottom of the steps you will see a long hallway. Follow the hallway to a garden of fruit trees. Touch nothing. Go on and you will see a large bloodstone. On top of the stone is an oil lamp that is lit. Pour out the oil and bring the lamp to me. my son, to meet your princess. Her wish is spent. She gave him the lamp. The next morning, the Sultan called for his daughter. "Look at this place," he said, pointing out the window. "This is the husband for you." "Because of this place," said his daughter. Have you even met this man?" "Why bother?" said the Sultan. "He can make a golden palace appear overnight as even more powerful than my royal advisor, the Vizier." "Why is being powerful all that matters?" said the princess. "Yesterday your Vizier was most powerful man in the kingdom, and I was to marry him. Today, this stranger is the most powerful man, and I'm to marry him. Why do you think it matters to me who is most powerful?" "I am your father, the Sultan of this land," he roared. "I say you will marry him." The princess threw up her arms in despair. "It's no use." In her dressing room, the princess groaned to Nadia, her lady-in-waiting. She said, "My father is determined to marry me off, no matter what, to one powerful man or another. He hardly cares who he is." "But madam," said Nadia, "isn't this wonderful new stranger an excellent match?" The princess looked at the lady-in-waiting. "You don't know how lucky you are," she said. "I would rather live your life than be ended off in this way." "And I would rather live yours," said Nadia. The two of them stared at each other for a couple of moments. They were about the same height and had about the same color hair, with all the scares that maidens like them wore. "Let's do it," they said together. The two of them changed clothes. At that very moment, Alladin was riding to the Sultan's palace on a white horse, ready to meet his bride. The Sultan warmly greeted him. "Stay here in my palace until the preparations for your wedding are complete," he said. "As the is to have the lamp dismay. By his magic, he could tell where Alladin had eaten the lamp. When Alladin was sleeping, the visor crept in and stole it. In a quiet place, the visor made his first wish. Genie, do as I say. I want you to take Alladin's palace to a faraway place in the desert that no one can find. What the wizard did not know was that at the very moment Nadia was inside Alladin's palace exploring it. And there is something else the visor did not know. The genie thought the visor had commanded to be taken far away too, along with the palace. So the genie sent the visor, the golden palace, and Nadia all together to a faraway desert. The next morning, the Sultan awoke and saw nothing outside his bedroom window where Alladin's palace had stood the day before. The next moment, his servants rushed in, announcing that the princess was gone. Furious, he called for Alladin. "What have you done?" The father yelled in a rage. "Because of your magic tricks, I have lost my daughter. You must bring her back to me in 3 days, or it will cost you your head." Alladin thought he would simply use his second wish, and the genie would bring back the princess at the castle too. But he looked everywhere for his magic lamp. It was gone. In despair, Alladin could do nothing but to ride away from the Sultan's place on the white horse he had rode in on. Sadly, he rode from town to town, but no one knew anything about the palace that had suddenly appeared overnight. You might wonder, where was the true princess all this time? Dressed as a servant girl, she had crept out of the palace the very day she had switched clothes with Nadia. Down to the marketplace she went, and there she met an aging merchant. The old merchant told her he was tired from riding so many years from town to town, selling his potions and perfumes. He had many customers along the way who expected him, but he yearned to rest. The princess was dressed humbly, yet she carried herself like royalty. She gained the confidence of the old merchant when she offered to ride his camel train in his place and share what she earned with him. It was delighted, and that is how our princess found herself up, we left now, we could get there by morning. I am grateful, said Alladin. He had left all the jewel fruits with these mothers except one. This he offered to the camel rider as payment. "I'll keep it," she said with a wave of her hand. "It's no trouble. Bring your horse to ride alongside my camel." Riding through the night, the two of them spoke of many things. Alladin marveled at the young lady's easy manner and generous spirit. It somehow knew that she could be trusted. Before long, it told her the rest of his story, how he discovered the magic lamp in the cave in the first place, how he used his wishes to impress the Sultan so he could marry the princess, and how the lamp was later stolen from him. "What makes you think the princess would have wanted to marry you?" said the true princess. "Well, you know," said Alladin, musing, "I never thought of that. These and older matters of the heart and mind passed between them as the two rolled through the night. As the morning's dawn brightened, Alladin and she were riding in a path between two very tall walls of rock, rose-colored they were, with thin bands of white and blue. Suddenly the tall rock walls ended, and they arrived at a clearing. "Look," said the princess, pointing ahead. "Is that it?" "It is," Alladin cried out with joy, recognizing his palace. "I hope the princess is still inside." Then he added, "For even if she is without my lamp, I couldn't get them both back before the third day." Just then Nadia, who had been carried away along with the palace, as you must know, was looking out the window at the new guest. To her surprise, she recognized the rider of the camel train as none older than her beloved former mistress. She waved them both to come to the front door. The servants let in the guests. Nadia took them to the drawing room and shut the door. She said, Mistress, how glad I am to see you." "I'm glad to see you too, Nadia." Alladin was amazed. "You know each other?" The princess only said to Nadia, "Tell me, how did you find being a princess?" "At first, I loved it. What's not to love? I liked well enough the fine groans and all the attention I got, but I got carried away with this palace, and the vizier is here, too. For the last 2 days he has done nothing but fly about in a rage and smash things. It terrifies me." "He can be scary," said the princess, who knew the vizier and what he was capable of. "There's more," said Nadia. "He said, with this lamp, tomorrow we'll return to the Sultan's land, and I will have to marry him." "You said, with his lamp?" Alladin and Princess looked at each other. The princess turned to Nadia. "Wait a minute. I have a plan." The princess gave Nadia one of the sleeping potions searched her